Jared was the perfect person to lead a parent roundtable discussion on raising a child with autism. And parents will tell you, on one hand, it is a huge stress. On the other, it's amazing.
No words at 12 months, no gestures. He had great eye contact. Great eye contact. Was affectionate, smiled, cooed, babbled. And I think about 18 months, I think I just said, this isn't right. There's something not right here.
Meet Angela and John Parsons, Kathy Borkowski, and Gracie White. All know what it takes to raise a child with autism, and they share with us everything from the celebrations to the challenges.
When you get this diagnosis, a lot of your hopes and dreams that you planned during this pregnancy, it's not going to happen. You're thinking, as you said, a normal dating life, going to school, career possibilities. There was a lot of disappointments. But you know what? What really got me, though, was regardless of what they said, this was my firstborn. This is my son, whom I held the day he was born, and I loved him. It didn't make a difference at that point.
I think at first I was in shock, and I went through kind of a grieving period we talked about, like grieving the child that was, and it took me a while to actually get up and say, okay, now I have to get going and start working on this. And when my son Matthew was diagnosed, there wasn't a lot. They gave us the diagnosis and didn't really give us a handbook on who do you call or what do you do or, what's the next step. And I just started talking to parents. I think that was the first thing I did.
For Gracie, it was a shock.
Wow. Where do I go? How do I begin? And also dealing with my husband. My husband was very disappointed. And so we had to deal with the relationship of him understanding the importance of being a team and being a part of it. So once he swallowed that, he's the best father there is.
But with each step, there are obstacles, emotional and financial stress that can weigh on a family.
I didn't care what it cost. I, cashed out my 401k at work, and I said, I'm going to try any therapy and find out later if it works. And eventually my husband was like, okay, that's enough, and we had battles over, how much money was going to be enough and how much money were we going to throw at it.
Like Kathy said, we pour everything in and we go forth and we look at what we have and we deal with it. If that doesn't fit, we don't stop. I basically looked at my husband and I said to him, we're in this together and we're going to work it out.
And they do. And along the way, there are steps to celebrate.
We do as much as we can together. We watch a movie together, we'll wrestle, we'll do whatever, fathers and sons do. But, we just have a natural relationship. When I'm with him, I don't think autism. I think he's my son.
Autism, I feel, and I don't want to say this as a mistaking, it's a blessing to me because I was able to look at it as a way of I know that God could have gave me something worse. So I really appreciate the fact that autism is here today and we just take it and we deal with it and look at the best way we can deal with it.
I still can kind of close my eyes and almost audibly hear Jonathan say, Mom. And he was 4 years old before I heard those words. Of course, he said Dad first.
Yes.
I later learned the speech therapist told me that was easier to do.
I laugh a lot now. I used to cry, but now I laugh a lot.
He has never been able to ride a bike. And we had OTs work with him summer after summer, and he'd get on the bike, and he couldn't focus to look forward and pedal at the same time. And we worked with him, and finally I just said, well, maybe he's never going to ride a bike. And a couple weeks ago, my husband was out there and he picked up his younger brother's bike and got on and started riding it. And it was like he just had gotten to the point where he could do it. And so he'd ride around our driveway, and then last week he, on his own, just took off, and literally all these neighbors came out and were clapping for him because they knew how hard, we had wanted it. He didn't seem to care so much, but I just sat there in awe because I didn't know, at 9 years old, I said, get the video camera, most people do it at 5 or 4, but he rode a bike.
When we return on the Autism Puzzle, how you can get involved right here in our community to help raise autism awareness.